It's time. It's very much time for JoJo Sunday, the final technical like kind of day of JoJo, really. We're good to go. We're good to go. We're good to go. So yes, actually have returned. Actually covered episode 38 of JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind, and as we in episode 37, oh boy, oh that was. It was beautiful. It's Bonissimo. Bonissimo ending to the whole entire thing. And yeah, now we're basically now kind of in the end game section of JoJo Part 5. It's actually kind of depressing because we just got it back and now it's like over. Just it's depressing to kind of hello to actually kind of be in the world where JoJo's actually ending again until Part 6 comes out, whenever that does. And yeah, I mean, it was beautiful, I must say. Episode 37 really brought Gold Experiment to like life, really. It's one of those things that it was amazing in the manga and just in the anime, it's just like wow. And it's just one of those things, and we also definitely did not lose Bruno in the process. No. He's still fine, he's alive, he's okay. He's definitely not with Abakio in heaven, they're both okay. I, I just don't wanna don't wanna think about it. Yeah, I was just checking quickly my headphones. My microphone sometimes plays out in mono. I have no idea why, so I just had to quickly check whether or not my microphone's actually playing in stereo. It actually is, so it's working fine. So, anyways, actually want to actually go live, so go live. For episode 38 of JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind. Man, I feel like yesterday I actually kind of left for Spain as well, and I'm actually back up on JoJo Sunday, conveniently enough. I always say to myself, like, it's convenient that I actually kind of left and came back when JoJo comes back. I was like, yeah, boy, planned that perfectly. Right, so we're good to go on that front. I'll go on this front. Hello. Yeah, I've actually tried to avoid the Twitter as well because it's. I mean, the only thing I saw really was Diablo. The only thing I've actually kind of seen so far. It's the only thing really. But other than that, I haven't really seen anything. I've avoided that whole entire thing. But anyway, it's actually a Shona Road. So in 3, 2, 1. That's like this thing absolutely now. Have you know, it's actually kind of depressing me already. It's simpler times. I'm so happy. Diablo literally just got sent. Like literally just there's been thrown across the whole entire like entire playing field of existence and it's just been sent flying. Diablo got sent flying. Like literally just oh he got sent flying. Poor Diablo. He's wanted a quiet life. Oh man. It's the piano, that's the problem. The piano's actually kind of the major thing of part 5. Once the piano comes out, you're screwed. Hello! It's always the thing you know. Just when the piano plays, you get the F out of there. That's what you do. You don't stay in there. You gotta get out because otherwise, oh boy, it's gonna get serious. Who knows? Maybe the real standard part 5 for Giorno actually was the piano. Who knows? I also forgot we actually have to partake in the. Is it good luck Bruno Curtin at this point? Is it good luck morning Bruno Curtin at this point? That's the problem. I actually don't know what to name it anymore. Oh, they're gonna change the opening again. Did you see the Dio? Did you see the Dio? Did you just see the Dio? Piano experience Rarican. Oh man. Diablo's like, I'm not dead. Definitely not dead. Everyone knows the reason why Diablo's still alive is because of the JoJo swag. That's what keeps him alive. I mean, when you actually think about it, going through its work is basically the meme of yes, but actually no, essentially. Diablo lost his mind so freaking hard. He actually started moving across the actual ground without actually moving across the ground. He was levitating. There's like a massive sense of irony to this whole entire thing when you think about it. It's actually kind of brilliant. When you think about it, Diablo's actually kind of had like the most tragic in his own kind of world death of any other antagonist beforehand. When you think about it, because his whole entire world has just come crashing down before him. Now welcome back to just like the most just like wow kind of thing ever. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is actually, when you think about it, really disturbing for an actual protagonist to actually kind of do to an enemy. I mean, yeah, essentially, he's kind of the biggest arsehole in the universe, but still, you're like, damn, son. It's remarkably disturbing. I mean, also, they kind of had it change this then as well, it's just buonissimo. I honestly don't think it actually can be. I can see what people do describe it as that, but it's not really that at all. It does have a little bit more depth to it. It's also the kind of the most like scary based in the antagonist as well, to be honest, because Kira had that moment when he was kind of like, yeah, please get away from me kind of territory, but never to this degree have you ever seen a an antagonist in a JoJo part ever kind of feel this sense of like dread, this fear, anxiety, all these emotions. You're essentially watching a guy just break down before your eyes. It's kind of, it's disturbing in a way, even though he's the enemy, it's disturbing. He just basically seemed just kind of just reduced down to zero, and then even below that. It doesn't take away from what he's done, but it's one of those things. He kind of, it's just like, damn. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me now. It's the good luck Bruno cloud. I think Diablo's kind of downfall is a lot more disturbing in the anime than it actually is in the manga, to be honest. I kind of think, in a way. Because the sound design's so freaking good in this anime that it just makes you go, damn, son, that is scary. It's fate worse than death, basically, because each antagonist actually has died in a way. He's repeatedly dying. Oh man, there he is. It's the good old days. Back before, everything happened. Bakugo's just like, well, he's got a point, actually. Surprisingly. Oh, man. Actually, kind of nice. Actually, kind of see everyone back. To be honest, I mean, yeah, it's just, it's like my heart's breaking apart inside, but it's just nice. It's beautiful. Kind of see a different side of what actually happened. I do actually kind of wish we got a separate part with everyone just surviving and just kind of living their life out. That would be nice. That would be very nice. I would watch that, to be honest, as well. I'd watch the hell out of that, and actually not be depressed every single time I see Bruno and Abakio now. Bruno is so amazing. Bruno is just so goddamn amazing. I love him so much. He's one of the best characters in JoJo, really. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. See what I mean? See what I mean about JoJo making inanimate objects, which are otherwise kind of not that scary, kind of scary. Every single damn time. It's like, oh, rocks are pretty cool. Rocks are scary. See, Misa's attitude is just like, what the hell is that? bullets. It's kind of like he immediately just like, boy, what the hell is that? Oh, the sleeping slave. Oh, episode 39. Right, so yeah, that was episode 38 of part 5, which is basically kind of like it. Kind of, well, it's kind of like I say it's kind of like it's the penultimate episode. It's the penultimate episode of JoJo, but it actually kind of is. It's very much shoot first, ask questions later. It's kind of like, yeah. He's like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, going on Diablo's kind of character, because Diablo's character is quite interesting in a way, because he I think Alexa just kind of kicked in from somewhere. That's kind of scary. Diablo's character is very fascinating in a way, because technically speaking, as I said during the stream itself, there is, I mean, in a way, each character's kind of death has always been a kind of their downfall in a way. It's always been something that's actually led to their downfall, like with Kira and everyone else beforehand. But with Diablo, you've actually kind of seen it firsthand, his whole entire world break down. Like, and it's actually kind of, and then at the end, kind of succumbing to death, and then also kind of seeing something he most certainly tried to kind of build up in this world, kind of in a way kill him. It's actually quite fascinating because that is what's actually happened to him. He's kind of just had this massive downfall, and he's kind of been reduced to 0. But then he's gone down even more than just that. He's not down to 0. He's down to like -10. Like, it's disturbing in a way how much you've actually kind of seen his character kind of just go on his downward trend since the show kind of really began in a way. Since Tracer's Requiem actually kind of took place, because in a way, you kind of think to yourself, well, look, this whole entire part now is going to be them trying to escape Diavolo. They got to actually get away from him, to actually kind of then survive, actually figure out what the hell's going on here. But when you think about it, it's actually kind of not being that. The story makes you believe that. Makes you believe that's what the narrative's actually kind of telling you. But in a way, the narrative actually is the importance of the main characters are kind of destroying this person's life. Even more so than previous characters, when you think about it. Like, even before, like, with, say, Kira or anyone like that, Diablo's life has basically been completely ruined, and actually then he's now kind of stuck in a perpetual loop of dying. He's actually he has no way to get out. He has no way to find out why he is in there, and actually then why is actually kind of happening to him. It's one of those things, he's just kind of stuck. And it's actually kind of, when you think about it, the most disturbing thing a character actually has ever done to a main antagonist in a kind of JoJo part, probably kind of in a very long time I've actually ever seen it in a character or in an anime or in a film, really, because in other shows it's just like, well, they just kill them and actually then they walk off. The same thing applies kind of in part 4. No, technically speaking, the adversaries actually kill Kira, and then Kira gets kind of taken into hell via hands, which is actually a very ironic death. Technically speaking, most JoJo characters do succumb to an ironic death, but it's just like, there's always been the sense that the characters have done it in kind of a very just like normal way. It's not been kind of like anything kind of like wow, but Giorno kind of, it's like, you're like, damn, at the end of it. It's just, it doesn't excuse what he's done. Don't get me wrong, I don't sympathise with Diablo's character at all, but when you think about it from a different perspective, it's quite a disturbing way for a character to go out, just constantly stuck in this perpetual loop of dying, and she's never knowing how to get out of it. It's kind of, it's a fate worse than death. Like, technically speaking, Araki gave him the worst kind of death scenario in the universe when you think about it. Like, it's just, it's unique in a way. Like, a lot of people kind of do brush off Gold Experience Requiem as kind of just being a Deus Ex Machina in a way. Kind of like, oh, look, Diablo is this OP character, they've got to kind of just take him down some way, while then Araki brings in something that actually kind of reduces him back down to 0. But when you think about a different context, it's not that at all. Golden Experience Requiem is kind of one of the most disturbing stands in JoJo, because it kind of it sends you to a dark place you can't get out of. Kind of then makes you live out like the fears of humanity, like being alive and actually kind of being dissected, and actually all those kind of things. He's not as if he's just dying, like say getting shot or getting kind of, we got run over and got kind of stabbed, but you know what I mean. He's also dying quite disturbing ways. It's actually one of those things, but then also in a very unremarkable way as well, because let's face it, he actually has to kind kind of been reduced down to this kind of like feeble position, that he's not even got a death that actually kind of does him free, allow him to actually kind of go out in this grandiose sense. No, you don't get a sense that he's gone out like, oh my god, he's dead. He doesn't go out like that. He goes out like, oh my god, he's dead. Like it's that whole entire different kind of feeling that part 5 gives you. And I actually kind of like that for that reason. It's a very unique part for that, because the way they kind of kill and dispatch the main antagonist isn't usually how you see antagonists actually kind of go out. Especially with JoJo as well, because in part 4, Kira got kind of run over got its head squished by the ambulance, and then got dragged to hell via hands. But here it's just like, damn. It's just, it's disturbing. And yeah, I mean, he's in his own way, in his own mind. Don't get me wrong, it's not as if he's a tragic character. My son Doppio is a very tragic character, but Diavolo is an asshole. But it's one of those things that in his own way, you actually can in free see the kind of the tragedy in his life. He's kind of just built this whole entire empire up, and it's just kind of done this. Outside of his actual kind of control in a way. Because he's trying to control the situation, he's trying to dispatch everyone, but he can't. It's impossible, because the piano is OP'd, boy. So you can't escape it, and it's just one of those things that you've seen a character from a different perspective, kind of his life just go poof. Like it's interesting, because you don't get to see that very often. It's a very subtle kind of way it does it, because you don't really notice it straight away until you actually kind of look at it from this perspective and actually look at it in this episode. That in a way, this whole entire part has literally just been reducing down the antagonist down to 0, even when at points the antagonist actually has in theory been kind of brought up to like above the protagonist, like in a way in that whole entire scene way earlier on. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the Twitch just comes back. Come on, Twitch, come back. There we go. Twitch has randomly died. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting for that reason. Also, then at the end, we're kind of this event has a very big importance, and episode 39 will kind of explore that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of just also then highlights of well how much of an amazing character Bruno is. This is why I kind of like him so much. He's an amazing character in his own way. Like it's one of those things. This part, it gets a lot of flack. I don't know why, but it's just each character has this sense that they're just so amazing, you just can't help but love them, because they've all just kind of got something that makes you kind of go, yeah, they're really freaking cool. And Bruno kind of had that. Bruno has that still. You see it here, like in that whole entire event. And yeah, I just can't wait to see how they actually end this whole entire part, because the ending kind of threw me off originally, because when you kind of look at it, you look at Diavolo's kind of downfall, and then you look at this event, you're kind of like, huh? But then when you kind of just look at it from that perspective, it actually is a very kind of interesting way to end the whole entire part. Actually can't wait to see how it all ends. So yes, we have to wait, and we have to watch that immediately after this stream. So anyway, that is me done for today. So if you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on Twitch, then do leave that follow on Twitch, because indeed it's been quite a bit. If you have enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it's been quite a bit. If you have enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to stay a bit longer, then do indeed leave a sub, because indeed it's been quite a bit. If you have enjoyed it here on YouTube and you want to stay a bit longer the whole entire point, then leave a follow on Twitter or join my Discord as well. Both for Tony streams and live streams I do as well. But until next episode 39, the final episode of JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind. See you guys later. Bye for now.